The Cubs are actually going to win, I think. Good evening, fight fans. Welcome to another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. I'm your boy Bodkins, and of course, with me is always Mr. Bobby Blunts. Bobby, it was supposed to be a quiet weekend in the world of combat sports. We sat here last Wednesday, a week ago, and we're like, we give Rico absolutely no fucking chance to beat Usyk, and us and about every other combat analyst person, we were all dead fucking wrong. In fact, you could say, in the 11th, it was stopped after Rico went down. He gets up, and it seems like the bell has rung, and then they stopped the fight. And Rico has lost, and he was, somehow two judges had it, tied, I guess, on the scorecards. One judge, I think, had it for Rico if it had went to the 12th. But I ask you, Bobby, was Rico Van Hooven, was he robbed on Saturday afternoon?
Really tough question to answer point blank. I'll get to it, but in my long-winded way of getting to it. First off, like you said, I was hoping to get a couple competitive rounds. I figured the best case scenario is you could, maybe win some of the early rounds.
Much like something. Conor and Mayweather, right? Where Mayweather kind of carries them and, eventually puts them down.
Yeah. Or even when Francis had his early success versus Fury, getting the knockdown. But just tremendous performance by Rico. Really kind of figuring out the distance, and I'm not sure if his stance was kind of throwing Usyk off at first, but was absolutely it was pretty shocking. We got to the second, third round, and we kept scoring rounds for Rico, and we're like, okay, when is Usyk kind of gonna turn it up and stuff? And he did appear frustrated through parts of the fight. He was figuring out kind of moments to kind of take advantage and hit Rico, because he was kind of moving forward and being hittable. But Rico undoubtedly was up on the scorecards before the knockdown happened. So it is very bizarre, the cards that you were kind of seeing, we kind of felt like the fix was in the middle of the fight. When we saw some of these cards, it's oh, he's gonna have to stop him, because they are literally trying to fuck him.
Right.
And going to that 11th round, the 10th was definitely one of Usyk's better rounds that he had. That was one that I scored for him. And then when he dropped him, it was weird watching it in real time and then going back to watch it. Watching it in real time, he got knocked down. He got up pretty quickly. He wasn't really trying to take advantage of the 10 count or anything. And he put his mouthpiece in, then he spat it out. So the ref gave it to him. It fell out again. So they let him go over to his corner for them to put it in. So that probably took 10 seconds or something. The fight resumed, and then you hear the bell, but it is so loud in there, you really can't hear shit. Because when it happened, I legitimately had no idea what happened. They stopped the fight, and it's wait, did they stop it, or is it going to the next round? And he was just pulling him off him, because you heard the bell. You hear the shots after. I don't know if they were trying to gauge the clock for the time in the mouthpiece or what, but just a very bizarre situation. And I don't want to say a lackluster end to the fight, but kind of where I'm at with it, especially rewatching it. Do I think he got fucked over? Absolutely. Do I think this was some corrupt intentional thing to ensure that Usyk won. I'm not really sure if I'm there yet. Like I'm in the middle, and it's mainly because when you, and this is obviously the benefit of me being able to go back and rewatch it, but when I rewatched it, the spitting of the mouthpiece and stuff, like Usyk, Rico did not really give the referee the best body language. Like, we are fully aware that he probably would have been fine. He's been in plenty of these situations before, but just the optics of how he was looking, then with the, momentary stalling with the mouthpiece, I kind of understand the ref's bad decision a little more than it being just bad call and incompetence than absolute the fix is in. This is the only way that Usyk was going to win. And it's unfortunate we're never going to get to see that 12th round because, it'd probably be a 50-50 chance that Rico would have been recovered by then. But who knows? I mean,
it could have been it could have been where Usyk puts him down permanently in the 12th. He was coming on, like you said, in the 10th and the 11th. So does he pour it on more in the 12th, knowing that he was finally getting some rhythm? He struggled. Usyk, to me, struggled in them early rounds. What is, like you said, what, like, do you contribute that as, like, I don't think that Usyk's too professional to take Rico like lightly, right? Like, I don't think he took him lightly, but I do think there's not any video, right? Footage. Like, how do you train for a guy that's never really, only been in one boxing fight? Yeah, Rico has been in, like 45 kickboxing fights, but as we know, that's a lot different than boxing. I think it just took Usyk a long time to get into rhythm and find the range to get to Rico.
Yeah, I don't consider it like a Tyson Fury scenario where you could clearly tell Tyson was sandbagging and then he got knocked down and was like, oh shit, I'm probably going to have to box. It's weird too, because like in the post-fight speech with Usyk, he's talking about talking to his daughter on the phone who's in a bomb shelter. I couldn't even imagine having to train for a huge fight while dealing with this as well. So, I don't really think that would have had much to do with like the preparation itself, because like you said, there was really no tape to go over. I do think the best way to explain the beginning rounds is I think Usyk was planning on trying to just test his gas tank and take him to the later rounds because he thought he would, kind of slow down or something, which another very impressive thing. Rico is very, I saw him slow down at certain points, but never to the point where I thought Usyk was just going to take over with him on volume or anything like that. Like, he was still sound and moving pretty good.
Yeah, and I don't want to take anything away from Usyk. Like you said, like 99.9% of people aren't fighting with their daughters in a damn, bomb shelter. You know what I mean? So, like, that's as a father, there's no way I'm trying to get to this bomb shelter to make sure my kids are safe, much less boxing. So I don't want to take anything from Usyk. And I thought the backdrop of the pyramids, like, they nailed the production part. I thought way better, 1,000 times better than when they did it in Times Square. That was, we've talked about that before, just kind of being just shit atmosphere. I thought the atmosphere in where they had it was great, was incredible. The fight was pretty good. You mentioned, I'm kind of more, maybe I'm just a little bit more conspiracy theorist or whatever, which is odd between the two of us. I think the fix was in, Bobby. I think that Usyk wasn't ever going to lose that fight. I mean, just even based off the scorecards, I don't know. I just really do. I don't think the judge saw, or that ref kind of saw the opportunity and said, I'm calling this fight before, so we don't even have to get to the 12th. You know what I mean? I really do. They don't want the boxing organizations, they don't want some outsider coming in and being the heavyweight champion on his second fight. Then they just, like, then anybody can think that they can do that shit. and they don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally right there with you. Like, I can't even offer any pushback for any of that because I do think all that stuff is extremely valid. So, just
What up, boy?
because I don't know, it's the ref just was kind of pissing me off the entire fight too. So
Right.
maybe that like made it a little bit like, oh, what the fuck. But I could see either side to it because like basically there's two scenarios in this. It's either corruption or incompetence, one or the other.
Yeah, this is crazy too. Like the sports books mentioning too. Like Rob said, from the main card, the minute said Rico was still a plus 1,000 in the eighth. You know what I mean? Like even the sports books was like, we're still fucking. We know boxing's not gonna allow this motherfucker to win.
So Conrad in the space actually bet on Rico, and the entire fight, he was contemplating like, should I cash it out? Should I cash it out? And he actually ended up only cashing it out because we were mistaken what round it was.
I got you.
But yeah, I mean, good for bets, I guess. But
right. But I mean, it shows you that sports books know that boxing wasn't going to allow Rico to win because Rico was winning the fight even in the in the early rounds. So why would the odds? You would think the live odds would change, right, to Rico.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely saw it swelling a lot more even and stuff at times. I did not see the plus 1,000 that late. Like it was more like a 3-digit number, but at the same time, it does make a lot of sense with how the books work and stuff. They're probably, more and more people are just dumping in on that end. So, but I completely understand the corruption angle of it as well because it's definitely not a positive. Like this is the more like bizarre thing about it because that happens, okay, and then they bring the mandatory into the ring after the fight is over because he was the one that was supposed to I think K-Ball, or I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name, but and I love how like Turkey tries to interject saying, oh wait, we have to run this back, when damn well Turkey's the one who sent his fucking goon in with this dude.
Oh yeah, you're talking about
who's
next for Usyk.
So they're trying to like play this scenario, and ironically enough, even though he probably got screwed out of the heavyweight title, this at the same time might be the best thing that could have happened to Rico. Because
that was going to be my next question is a rematch set? Do you do the rematch, or but there is I can't think of the guy that you're talking about that's kind of in line for the heavyweight fight for
I think it's Kabayel might be how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of prefer them to just do the mandatory, honestly, or
the mandatory rematch.
No, the mandatory number one contender who
he's
gonna fight. Because, like, to me, like, imagine if Rico got sent back out there in the 12th and he got finished. He would be in a much kind of worse position than this, where he's literally got everyone kind of fighting for him, saying he is the true winner and everything.
Yeah.
And obviously, actually winning the match and the title would have been the most preferred route, but.
Remember, this is a guy who the UFC called and said, "Hey, do you want to fight Derek Lewis for like 24,000?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think the one thing I can confidently say is we'll never see him in the UFC. I mean, we kind of already knew that, but between just being able to bid out between Turkey and Netflix, because I mean, those are the two options.
That's what I was going to say, Bobby. If I'm MVP in Netflix, I'm calling Rico today, and I'm saying you and Francis in the next MVP MMA. That would headline. That you could headline that card. Francis versus Rico in MMA.
Yeah, it's
You could even
definitely
do it in boxing if you wanted to, right? I mean, either or, but you could do a 1-1. Say we're gonna do a 1-1. We're gonna do an MMA match, and then we're gonna do a boxing match. In after this.
yeah, it's I kind of think it makes the most sense only because boxing is just so messy with like the mandatory and stuff, and this was already holding it up to begin with. But at the same time, you can't rule out Turkey just ensuring that he wants to have a rematch of this fight because
right.
it it over delivered. I mean, in the the card itself was a great card, and I can't even compare it to Times Square because that shit was just such a joke.
Yeah.
I would say it was visually, it was so much more impressive and in awe than what they did in the Sphere, because it was all real. It wasn't any of this like, digital shit, like using technology and the walkouts, like they absolutely nailed their 2 walkouts. Like that was getting you really excited for like, okay, let's fucking go. And
I thought the Times Square had more like name value, like you know what I mean, like had more. Like there was like 3 or 4 fights that you wanted to watch, where this one was just obviously a typical kind of boxing card.
yeah, they did put some really good fights on this though as well. Like Frank Sanchez, heavyweight, sent Torres Jr. to fucking Valhalla in the second round. That was a great way. These were all on the main card and stuff. And I was thoroughly entertained for the entire card. I mean, it pretty much was on at like 8 a.m. And I understand the pacing issues on the main card. Like that is probably the worst I've felt it in a while, probably just because we had nothing else on. Like normally there's something to buy the time.
Yeah, it was like an hour between the co-main and the main. Luckily I didn't watch it live, so I was
that was fucking brutal. But then when they probably just had to get everything like prepped for the entrances and stuff, because you could tell both of those were like they practiced those, that isn't like a single walkout thing. Like there was a lot of prep, the panning to the pyramids when Rico is like looking out towards them and stuff. It was, I would say visually probably the best thing like Turkey has done in boxing. Like everything always has this flat environment. Not too much reaction. The people in Egypt were making quite a bit of noise. It was extremely loud in there. So I would consider the event itself a success. And I do think they're going to capitalize more on doing these events at rural areas like this. So it wouldn't shock me if they run back another one like that too. I could totally see it.
Yeah. Rob, I think you know the answer. Who looked worse this weekend, Usyk or Johnny Football? Actually, the guy Bob Menery looked worse, if you ask me, losing to Johnny Football. So,
bro, we'll talk about that later. Yeah.
We're not going to talk about it because there's nothing to talk about that stupid shit.
Well, I would normally agree, but when it's in I'll just say like this. These are the acceptable fights to be in the UFC Apex, not your fight night. Like this is perfect for the Apex.
Yeah, right.
So yeah.
But Bobby, I do want to mention before we talk about some other news and notes and then get into the UFC this weekend, the PFL had a card in Brussels, and poor 42-year-old Benson Henderson gets knocked out in 20 seconds. What is Benson Henderson doing? I mean, he has no business being in. I told you on Saturday, he's got no business being anywhere in an octagon fighting still. I mean, it's just there's a guy at one time was the UFC champ and said, like, hey, I'm going to hold on to this belt. I'm going to retire at this. And here we are a decade later, and he's, unfortunately still fighting, and there's no need for it.
Yeah, I literally thought you were going to ask me what he's going to do next. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I hope he enters the retirement home.
Yeah, it was. I didn't want to be too predictive of this one, but I kind of assumed it would be like a first round finish. They nailed the environment. Very entertaining show. I don't know what the fuck Joe Schilling was on, but that's a whole nother different can of worms. But I think the outcome we were all expecting to happen happened. It was just the second a clean shot landed, he's down. So, granted, I'm sure he got paid pretty decent for this opportunity. So I unfortunately can't rule him out taking anything else, but I think he served his purpose with the PFL, and that will probably be the one and done for they're trying to bring in a recognizable name to fight the young hometown fighter. But I really would have preferred them to go inside their own rankings for this matchup instead of bringing in the big name, even though I understand what they're doing, like setting up the squash match for the hometown guy. But I think you could have achieved that same thing with a younger
UFC
fighter.
Veteran. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. I mean, he's going to be the A side in his hometown, but I guess Benson signed up for it, and hopefully they paid him. But man, it's just certain people, I said I didn't need to see Nate Diaz fight anymore, and I don't need to see Benson Henderson fight anymore. I'm sure after International Fight Week, I'm going to say I don't need to see Conor fight anymore. I'd probably already say that. So, I don't need to see these things anymore. Unfortunately, they keep happening.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that 2 years. So,
Also, on that same card, what did you make? I had to pull it up. The Joe Schilling, weird headbutt and situation with your favorite referee, Mike Beltran.
I love how the first thing you did was point that it was my guy in there reffing it. And credit to Beltran, he did his fucking job in this. So I can't really be mad at him. I've never understood this rule that if you take the point, you have to take the position. I think you should take the point and then put them back in the same position. Apparently Joe Schilling was not cool with that, and he just walked off. And I don't know what the hell Joe Schilling wants. I had no idea he was on this card until he was walking out. But I'm not really sure if he wants to fight MMA, if he's, walking off the stool because he's getting put down back in the bottom position.
Well, Luke Thomas said if you take a point, you're not supposed to stand him back up. Like through the headbutt.
Yeah. Well,
you're supposed to stand him back up.
Yeah.
You don't put him in the position, I guess.
Yeah, and that's a retarded rule. Like, why are we doing that? Like, what's he got?
So if Till kills it in BKFC debut, is him and Platinum Mike Perry fight bare knuckle ever again? That's the match. If Till wins, him and Mike Perry would do numbers, I think, and do great in BKFC. Rob, I hope that's what happens. Actually, that's the fight I want to see.
I'm sure that was BKFC's goal when they signed him.
They've been
ironically
each other
now they got to worry. Now they got to worry about getting outbid by MVP for that fight.
Right. Well, no, because I think Mike Perry. Not Mike Perry, but Till signed like a 3-year, 3-fight. But I guess because the way BKFC works, I guess
I'd be shocked if it was an exclusive contract.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I would be too. I would be too. Also, Bob, right before air, we were kind of joking about it. The UFC is going to fucking. I about to say Serbia, out of all fucking places. In the main event is Euros Medic versus D-Rod. I didn't think D-Rod would be able to leave the country again, but I guess everything's okay. And so.
I'm not mad at the fight. I just Medic has a very exciting style, and so
and he's from there, so I get to having the hometown boy, but you know.
Yeah, in real time, it was kind of wild to me that this was a 5-round main event. But you know, getting a handsome site fee to go to Serbia, I'm sure they'll build it out decent enough. I almost feel like we've just gotten too used to these. Like it's a new location, but we know what the cards are going to be. There'll be some good fights on it, but you know, I'm assuming it'll be on their time zone.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be just like this weekend. And it seems to me like that's the card where if you're a light heavyweight and you want to move up to heavyweight, we're going to put you on that card because Johnny Walker's moving up to heavyweight to fight. Rakic, who I was very surprised is moving up to heavyweight to fight on the same card. He's fighting Tybura on that card.
A lot of heavyweight. And
yeah.
I guess the UFC is taking me saying to send all the heavyweights to Serbia literally.
I mean, it's interesting location, interesting main event.
Yeah, and when is that? Is that like in a month or two? Or?
No, that's in August 1st. So how do they have they have that card slowly built out, but they don't have the Oklahoma City main event yet.
We know what that is.
You think it's Usman versus DDP?
I do.
Wow. So you think Usman's moving up to middleweight?
Mm-hmm.
Then how come they haven't announced it yet? I don't think so.
Taking their time, you know, they can announce it whenever they want. It's kind of how they've always done it. I'm going off that Ali tweeting the phone, and I've always had in my mind that it's Usman that he's doing. So it's going to be Dricus if it's 185, or we might get something crazy like Michael Morales, but I don't see that. I think it's going to be Dricus.
Speaking of, do you think Usman's moving up? Because when Islam won the fight, we both kind of said like, hey, probably the best person, even though he's not deserving, that would be a good match would be Usman. But is Usman moving up and is done with at 170 and is, you know, I guess like if he beats DDP, he puts himself right in the mix.
Yeah, I think Usman is under the impression his quicker path to a title shot would be to move up because there's so many guys at 170, and I'm not sure if you know want them.
Yeah, a lot of killers at 170.
But at the same time, I don't want to sell Dricus short like that either because that should be a very interesting fight, especially 5 rounds.
But he could probably just wrestle fuck him and beat him.
It's
much like Hamzat did.
Yeah, I don't know. Going on like Hamzat was sacrificing his offense for dominant position in the crucifix. I don't know if Usman would be able to do that for 25 minutes. He could, but you know.
I mean, he did it against Buckley.
Yeah,
Buckley
than
DDP, but.
No disrespect to Buckley, but I mean, we saw what Brady did to him. He was on his back the entire time, like flat on his back. So,
on his back more than my mama. So, yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I think I would favor. If it was a 3-round fight, I'd favor Usman a lot more. I might slightly favor Dricus for the being 5 rounds.
So he say, "Sorry, I'm wheeling nailers game smashing ultras." All right, we'll have an ultra on us, Rob. And then well, he's got a question here. He says, "Usman bulk all the way up to 205. 205 is turds." I don't see him 205, but
yeah, it'd be terrible for his knees.
Yeah, he's got to have less weight. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting. But there was something else I was just gonna say, and Rob's ultras fucked me up. But anyway,
I thought you were gonna ask about Islam and Gary. But...
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, thanks. Ian posted on Instagram his head into a wall. Do you think that? What do you think that means?
I think Ian Gary.
He's just watching it. He doesn't want to watch his wife get dicked down anymore, so he's putting his head to the wall, or he's.
I think Ian Gary. I think Ian Gary is smart and knows exactly what he's doing, tweeting that type or IGing that type of stuff, the type of reaction he's gonna get, that felt kind of deliberate to me, but he's always done that type of shit, so it's not really that shocking, and the fact that he's still tweeting that stuff is making me question if Morales is still in play. I don't think he would be tweeting this shit if he knew that
Prates is right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I think he knows the matches in August, but especially with Carlos in the mix now, I would still assume they're gonna do Ian, but it would not shock me if they pivot on it, because the more and more he tweets about it, it can't just be about the Islam side, because I mean, he's gonna fight on that Philly card, and that's gonna be the date. He's probably already in camp, and they're waiting on the opponent.
Yeah. I don't know, Rob. Why do you ask about Conor and Usman? They're not even scheduled to fight. Oh, weird.
I love it. I'll entertain it. I think
I would take Usman.
Yeah, I would take
Miles. Yeah. Before we also did, I don't know if we talked about it last week or it happened after the show. You want to make any comments about Colby Covington's semi-retirement here out of the UFC, and just already being the company man, RAF, already rocking a RAF hat, RAF shirt. I'm pretty sure he was on Ariel today drinking the real American beer.
I'm, good for him for having other opportunities. I thought he retired over a year ago, but maybe he'll get one back. The one thing I saw when I heard that, because it was the weekend after the MVP card, it immediately made me think, is the UFC going to make him honor whatever fights he has on his thing? Or because he's been such a company man, will they grant him his release if he wants to do something else?
Seems like the only thing he wants to do is wrestle.
Yeah, and to his benefit, he's found something that he likes to compete in, and he can still kind of get made premium money, and he doesn't have to take less CTE risk probably. So I understand it, but him retiring isn't some like epiphany of, well, I can't believe I'm not going to see another Kobe Covington fight. I haven't seen one like since he lost to Buckley. So,
Right.
Wish him the best. I think he'll probably come back.
I always said that I thought Kobe should drop to 155.
Yeah, I don't know if he could do that type of cut. Maybe. I mean,
maybe not now. He's probably too old.
Yeah. If anything, I would tell him to go up. But
he would get murdered. He would get murdered at 185.
But like, to me, it's like the death of two swords, because he can tell people whatever he wanted. They offered him Bo Nickel on the fucking White House, and he
they did. Yeah.
So, you think their first choice was Dawkins? Like, they always have 2 or 3 guys in play, and then they make their decision on the one. But that would have been a fight to make me actually like care about what he's doing in MMA. Like, okay, like let's see what we got here. Doesn't even want to do that. So, have fun in RAF, Kobe. I wish you the best.
Yeah, good luck. Let's get into this weekend's UFC card. It is early morning for us, super early for you, Bobby. But it is all the way in Macau, and it is headlined by a couple bantamweights. Song Yadong versus Davison Figueiredo. I feel like it's been a while since we saw Song. I'm pulling it up right now as we speak. Song, actually, his last fight was January when he lost to Sean O'Malley in that unanimous decision. He's kind of beaten. He's beaten, like, Song to me is beating everybody but like the super top guys, right? He lost to Corey. He lost to Sean. He lost to Peter Yan. And now he's taking on the former kind of flyweight champion in Figgy. Figgy, it's been kind of mainly to me down, right? He had the win over Cheeto, back-to-back losses. And then he also lost in January to Usman Nurmagomedov in January by unanimous decision. And here he returns back. Your thoughts here on the main event? We'll kind of just work our way down the card here.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that Song gets to compete out there and stuff. So I think that was the main intrigue, putting him at the top of the bill for the card. And, they can say he's fighting a former champion. So, it sells for all those purposes there. They've done a really good job, putting the local talent on this card. They normally do. And I don't know. I expect Song to win. Figgy sometimes will be able to surprise us when we kind of count him out of a situation. But I don't think Song was doing too bad in the O'Malley fight. Like, I did have O'Malley winning. I was a little surprised it was unanimous at the time, but Song did have his moments there. But I don't know. I mean, because I saw a lot of people being critical about the matchmaking, and it just makes too much sense to me because they're booking him against a former champion out there. So I don't really know who else they would prefer Song to fight. So I think he'll serve well enough as a main event. They did.
Mario Batista would have been good, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they did book Batista with Sanhagen, so yeah. I much would prefer that for Batista to get that back.
Yeah,
but
the odds, Song is heavily favored here, minus 600.
Whoa, okay, it's swelled up even more.
Yeah, it's minus 600 plus. Figgy is plus 425 here.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a really tough fight for Figgy to overcome. Song, it's weird because like he struggled at the top of the division, but he's had really good success, especially against like older veterans and stuff. There was obviously the eye poke situation with the Henry thing, but I don't know. I would expect Song to convincingly win, probably unanimous decision, but I could also see him being able to finish him because I would think there's quite a size difference here too.
Yeah. By decision, Song by decisions plus 100. So plus Song by TK by KOs plus 125.
Okay, yeah, so they don't expect it to go to the scorecards.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm with you. I think it's really going to be Song by decision. Figgy by decision's plus 800. Song's tough to get out of there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I know Corey stopped him, but that was Song's face was all jacked up in that fight. You mentioned the size difference. I mean, Song is 3 inches taller. He's 5'8". Figgy's 5'5". So, and what's wild is Figgy actually has the 1 inch reach on him. So
That's wild.
yeah, yeah. The co-main is another Chinese Zhang Mingyang, but we haven't seen him, I think, since his last time I think they were in Macau when he lost to Johnny Walker. Yeah, back in August of last year when he was in the main event. But before that was on quite the run, and he has taken on Alonzo Minifield.
Yeah, he's from Road to UFC, which, by the way, they do have 2 of those events this weekend too. So they got quite a number of events over there. So should be plenty.
Minifield lost 3 out of his last 5, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, they did the Johnny Walker matchup and had Zhang be the headliner, and Johnny Walker in his awkward style ended up surprising him. And I remember the whole place was electric, and then all of a sudden it went silent. So I'm sure he'd much prefer to kind of get one back there. So it doesn't really shock me at all that they probably figure, hey, you can fight here. You don't have to travel or anything. So it's probably more of a benefit to him than anything, not having to come here. And yeah, for Menifield, you never know what you're going to get to him. Like certain days, he looks like he can beat anyone in that division. And then other times he just looks rough and he gets clipped. And I don't know, like Zhang was on a hell of a streak until he tripped on Walker there. So
yeah. Zhang's slight favorite here, minus 50, and Minifield's plus 200. Zhang by KO is minus 150. So Zhang by decisions plus 8, Minifield by decisions plus 750. I mean, Minifield by KO is plus 375.
yeah, I mean, it's heavyweights. So, I mean, essentially you do have value there. But,
yeah, I mean, it's not, it's 205. 205. Yeah, but.
Oh, it is 205. Okay. Oh, yeah, I was thinking, what's his name going to heavy? Those are some big ass 205ers, too.
Yeah,
I don't know why they don't just
Zhang is fucking huge.
Division. Yeah,
I feel like he's like 7 foot tall.
That's why I was thinking it was heavyweight for me because he's so huge. But the fact he makes 205 is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy because he's listed as 6'2", but watching him on fucking TV, he looks every bit of like 6'6".
Yeah, big boy for sure.
But
go ahead. I get why they didn't make him the main event. It makes sense to have Song be the main and he'd be a good co-main.
Yeah. Speaking of big boys, you got Sergey Pavlovich versus Towson Teixeira on this card as well. This is a nice one, man. It's like ever since the Aspinall fight. It's just like before that, Pavlovich was absolutely just destroying people. And since then, he's had a unanimous decision loss to Volkov, a unanimous decision loss or win over Rosenstrike, and a unanimous decision over Waldo Cortez Acosta. It's like, man, but there was a time like this dude was just knocking. He had like a 4-fight streak before the Aspinall fight where he was just literally killing people.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of also got to adapt your game and stuff, and especially in a division like that where most people are trying to kill people. I'm not mad at this at all for heavyweight. I mean, I think Sergey's last fight was also out here. So, he's already fought here.
Yeah, it was the Waldo fight too. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah, I mean, Sergey beats some good guys as well. So, Teixeira, is he coming off a loss or did he get back right after the Because did he lose to Derek Lewis?
Yeah, that was. I just had it. He beat Tai Tuivasa in a unanimous decision back in January.
Oh my God! I knew there was a reason I fucking deleted it from my memory.
But that was the first time he had been out of the first round.
Cool. Well, at least he's adapted. But yeah.
Pavlovich, heavy favorite here at minus 625.
That sounds about right to me. Like, it is heavyweight though, so there's better things to throw a 50-50 shot on, but especially with Sergey being a lot more technical in his last few fights, I think he will cruise to victory here one way or another.
Yep, Pavlovich by decision is plus 500.
Damn.
That's worth the squeeze right there.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, it's weird because like betting decision on heavyweights could be the most sharpest genius thing to do, but then also a ticket that could be ripped up immediately in the middle of the round.
The thing of it is like, like prior to the Aspinall fight, I was like, oh, he's just going to knock him the fuck out. But the last few times, it's like, I don't know, man. But also, Teixeira's been knocked the fuck out, I mean, too. So it's hard. But I might put the money, I might put a little, just a little on Pavlovich here to win by decision.
You should out of spite, because I am now remembering how fucking terrible that Tai Tuivasa fight was. And I think I was asking the UFC to get rid of both of them the weekend after.
They haven't. The last really kind of the fight I want to talk about is the return of Kai Asakura here. He moves up to bantamweight, and he's taking on Smotherman as well. Kai Asakura, remember, like he came in, and immediately fought for the flyweight title, obviously lost, and here he is still kind of searching for his first win. He lost to Tim Elliott. He has not had a win in the UFC yet.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to get that first one.
Moving up to bantamweight, I think will help.
Yeah, and how tougher of a task can you get to have your debut against Pantoja? I mean, that's just.
And then you fight. Then you turn around and fight Tim Elliott, who's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah, so I do think it's a good decision that he's moving up, and this is probably one of my more intriguing fights on the card, especially like Cameron Sutherman too. I mean, he's the dude that passed out after walking on the scale. So.
Oh shit! Yeah, that was him, right? That was the dude that Bisping's like, it's not that hard to make weight, and then dude fucking passed the fuck out.
I remember him saying it had nothing to do with the weight cut and it was something else. So I'm just hoping that's all behind him and he could make it through to the fight, no issue. But this is a very good fight, like style-wise, and I do think Smotherman does have some skills, so this is in no way a real get-right fight for Kai. His back's up against the wall, but what are the odds on this one?
Kai Asakura favorite minus 300.
Wow. That's pretty wild, but...
by decisions plus 225. By KOs plus 100, submission plus 1,000.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are hoping that Asakura gets right with this, and I'd probably be one of them. It's hard enough to come into the UFC with how they match you up, with absolutely no favoritism, just throwing you to the wolves. But that's nothing compared to having your debut against one of the pound for pound great 125ers. Like that's just fucking insane.
yeah. Yeah. I hopefully I'm kind of with you. I think this will be a good get right fight, and hopefully he kind of wins this one. Some other interesting fights just here real quick. You got Son of Marjay versus Alex Perez. That kind of rounds out the oh wait, the Jake Matthews versus Harris is on this card as well. So yeah, there's that kind of rounds out the main card. And you mentioned they have a couple of those journey to UFC road to UFC fights. So
Yeah, I think those are separate events entirely.
oh yeah, you're right. They are.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. That Zuhu girl though, she won the doctor. She won last year, and here she is again. She's minus 1,600, Bobby.
That's wild. Yeah, they seem to be wanting to use her to kind of headline those events because she's just so popular and stuff. So, yeah, I wish that she was on the UFC card. Absolutely. But at the same time, I also understand them having her headline the thing because they're trying to build out the event. So I see both sides of it.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. But yeah, that's 6 a.m. my time is the main card. So 4 a.m. your time. Wake up early, Bobby.
No, I mean, the benefit of Paramount. I can just rewatch it all in an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch it, and then I'm supposed to go golfing if it's not raining. So yeah.
Yeah, no, the Beeville fight is on too, so that should be fun.
Oh yeah, that's not at the same time though, right?
No, I don't think so. It shouldn't be, especially with the China time. Yeah, no way.
Yeah, 6 a.m. Is this the last fight? This ain't the last card until.
I think next week is Bilal.
Yeah. Next week is Bilal and Bonfim.
That's a really good fucking Apex card. That thing's loaded.
Yeah. Then it's the White House card. So. Oh, Bryce Mitchell. Oh, I thought Brendan Allen was the main event in that. But fuck, he's not even like the co-main.
Fucking Ali, man.
Against Edmund
You're number 4, and we're gonna have you fight an unranked guy, and you can't even headline.
You know what's crazy? And well, I'll talk about it next week. But why it's on the top of my, this is like his 4th or 5th fight, fighting somebody from Couture MMA.
Oh, really?
He's lot like he fought Chris Curtis twice, and there's been a couple other guys he's fought that's from
Strickland beat him, I think.
Yeah, Strickland. Yeah, there's another one, and there was somebody else. And I was like, holy shit, they got the game plan on him.
Yeah.
So watch out, Edmund Shamazi might shock the world.
Yeah, I don't know if that phrase would apply to that situation.
All right. Rico almost shocked the world.
Yeah, I mean, he still did. I mean, to circle back to that real quick, that is definitely the biggest takeaway from the weekend by far. No one to have that type of like crossover success. It's a shout to kickboxing, I think, because I mean, look at Pereira. He's also came over and adapted to the UFC. So, maybe the kickboxing is kind of the best base to have these guys really maintain the distance and stuff. So, I hope he gets a bunch of money from Netflix. But if he doesn't, that means Turkey's going to cake him out even harder.
Oh, man, yeah. He's about to be a wealthy man. Good for Rico. Good for him. Bob, you got any final thoughts before we get up out of here?
No, I think that covers it. You alluded to the brand risk. I just found it more like we had a back-to-back weeks of really wondering what is the point of athletic commissions? And in California, they sanctioned Rousey, Gina Carano, even though Rousey retired because of CTE and brain issues, all in her book,
Yeah.
And then
Helps when your mom's on the commission.
Well, yeah, I knew you'd lead with that, so I let you go. And then you go to the Nevada State Athletic Commission saying, "Oh no, hold my beer. We're going to sanction brand risk." And it was just wild to see the athletic commission's involvement. I mean, granted, you have to get these type of things sanctioned if you're doing them. I understand that, but more importantly, like the apex being used, I kind of understand it too from like the UFC side. Like, fuck it, we're not gonna have an event. Like, let's rent this thing out. I think they might have even used their production crew because it looked pretty. But it was pretty comical when you have Hunter Campbell saying that he wants to recruit No Neck Jay to do power slap. Like, he's literally at this event fucking recruiting. And I just found that pretty wild and wanted to mention it. I got a lot more comedy. And all the fights were sloppy as fuck. Like, the midget fight was the most competitive fight on the card. The island boy pulled out that was supposed to fight the guy. And,
Ray J got knocked the fuck out. Ray J got knocked out by somebody I never heard of.
And then mentioned the fight might be rigged.
Right. It was like, hey, man.
He was concussed. And Michael Beasley got choked out by Lance Stevenson in probably the worst rear naked choke I've ever seen in my life. But, we knew it was slop tuning into it. So it's when it's slop, the science experiment as seen in the Apex is what got me to.
They needed what's that boy? Death Sentence from Backyard Brawls or whatever it's called. They needed him.
Like Anderson Silva's son was on because half of it was boxing fights, and then the main card was MMA. So the boxing you can get away with kind of doing the influencer side a lot more. It kind of shows why there's not influencer MMA, like with all the grappling. Like, more than likely, the fights end extremely fast and hilariously, and that's basically all it was. So, I took one for the team and watched it, so you didn't have to.
Thanks. Yeah, good. I wasn't going to. I saw what I needed to see. All the clips are going to circulate online, and it sounds like I watched it myself.
I mean, you essentially could watch the entire thing through the clips on Twitter because everything did that quickly.
That's All right, well, enjoy the fights this weekend, folks. UFC McCall. We'll be back next Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. We'll talk about the winners and losers, and we'll preview the Bonfim versus Bilal and talk about whatever else happens in the world of MMA. Or mixed, or combat sports, I guess.
Hopefully they announce Philly by then.
Yeah, hopefully they announce the OKC card. So, that's closer.
I'm telling you, you're getting Drakus Usman. Get your ticket.
I'm gonna try. So, I'm actually going to some local fights next Friday. Not this Friday, but next Friday.
Oh, hell yeah.
A couple guys I know that are on the card, and it's actually outside, it's on a. I don't want to say like the backdrop will be a lake because it's that Lake of the Ozarks at a big like party bar. So they got I'll be my ticket's in the pool, so I'll be chilling in the pool watching the fights.
That's badass. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's a dope setup.
Yeah. I'll send a picture to you next Friday when I but yeah. So
those visuals might eclipse the pyramids of Giza.
Yeah, well, I'll be about high as you know what I mean. It's Giza, if you know what I mean.
Good choice.
Yeah. Other than that, folks, we'll be back 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern next Wednesday. So be a friend, tell a friend, like, subscribe, share. For my guy Bobby Blunts, I'm Bodkins. Enjoy the fights. Hopefully you have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.